Hey beautiful people, it's Lady Love checking in. I'm getting ready to bake some salmon, Atlantic salmon. And so get ready to season it up first, get it in the oven, and we're gonna go from there. So I've already sprayed my pan with avocado oil. There's my salmon there, so I'm just gonna get it out of the package first. Got it all rinsed off. Now I'm gonna pat it dry with a paper towel and get it on a pan. Having technical difficulties right here. Okay, much better. There, got it all dry. I'll do this side first, that side. So that side can click on the bottom. So we'll season that side first. What I usually just use seasoning salt, pepper, a little black pepper. A little seasoning salt, a little garlic pepper. Keep the seasoning salt out for the sauce that we're gonna make for this. Now this is gonna go into the oven. The oven is already set at 100 degrees. Get it in the oven. And we're just gonna set the timer to 1 hour. Set timer. Go all the way to 1 hour. That's normally how long I cook fish. I like it nice and done. I've heard it don't take that long, but it do for me. So, alright, so now we're gonna just go ahead and cut these onions and tomatoes, and then I have a little pepper. So yeah, so we're gonna put the tomatoes to the side, and then we're gonna do the onions first. So first we're gonna just start by cutting the onions, and then we're gonna take each section and chop them into smaller pieces. And just continue this until we're all done chopping all of the onions into smaller pieces. Chop, 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 chop. And so now I'm on my second onion. I had 2 onions because one onion didn't seem to be big enough. I had to cut some of the parts off because some of the parts, a part on one side was not so good. It was bad. So it just didn't seem like enough of an onion. So I just got another onion, peeled it, and so now we're gonna chop. We're chopping that onion as well. So we have 2 onions here that we're chopping only because one wasn't big enough. And I have 3 Roma tomatoes, Roma they're called. And so we want to make sure we have enough onions to accommodate the tomatoes. And the sauce is somewhat of a tomato sauce. Of course, we use onions, but I call it red sauce. It's a sauce that I learned from someone, an African person that I used to be around, and they used to make this sauce. And so I kind of took it on because it was good. And I know how to do it, especially on fish, lamb, anything really, if you want to use it, even on chicken. Because sometimes if I have some left over and I'm eating chicken, I'll use it for that. So now we're going to put these chopped onions in the food processor. And I have a portable food processor. I need to invest in a bigger one, but I haven't as of yet. So we're just going to put these chopped onions in here, fill it up, and move them around. And then we're going to go ahead and chop the tomatoes and fill up as many. Oh, well, let's do the pepper first. Let's mix that in first. And there's some bad parts on this pepper, so we're going to take those off. And this is a hot pepper. It's really hot, so you want to be careful with that if you don't like hot and spicy things. I usually use green peppers, jalapeno peppers too. I use those as well. But I saw these in the store, so I got them. And they work pretty good too. Like I said, they're just more hot. And I haven't been eating a lot of spicy stuff. It's like I used to. So I usually go with the green peppers. But these are fine too. So I'm just going to chop up these onions here. Same thing. Cut them or slice them. And chop them into smaller pieces so that they can go into the food processor as well. Gotta fix something on my phone. Yep, so chop. There's one tomato chop. I'm gonna grab the other one. I've already washed them or rinsed them and wiped them off, dried them off with a paper towel. Then I like to cut around a little thingy, a little stem in it, and throw that part away. Those parts, because there's a bigger stem and a head of the tomato. Then there's a small little thingy, like a dot stem, at the back of it. So I like to cut around those and throw those out. So I'm just chopping. And this is the last tomato here. Gonna chop that one too. Same thing. Cutting around a little stem there. Throw that out. And then slice this tomato here. Slice. And I'm just gonna cut around that little stem in the back. And then throw that out. Cut those into smaller pieces. And the same here. Take the sliced pieces, chop them into smaller pieces, and there you have it. Tomatoes all sliced, pepper all sliced. Now we're going to get as much of this that we can into the food processor. Remember, I have a portable one, so it's a lot smaller. We're going to start with those peppers. We're going to get those in right away first. We're going to get as many tomatoes in as we can. Fill it up as much as possible. All the tomatoes are not going to fit in here, but we're going to get in as many as we can. Okay, so we'll set those tomatoes to the side and go ahead and get these processed. It's going. I used to use the blender. I couldn't use the food processor on the body. So I'll be using this food processor. And I find that it works just wonderful. So there we have it. And it went down some. Once it gets processed, it's not as full. So what I'm going to do is take some out and put it into the pot. I'm not going to take all of it out. Just some. And then we're going to fill the rest of it up with the rest of the tomatoes just to get everything mixed in real good. I just kind of want the rest of those tomatoes to blend in with some of what's left in the food processor, just to give it a good mixture. and then the rest will mix in the pot as it cooks. And so now we have all those tomatoes in a food processor. Just set this in the sink here, and then we're going to go ahead and process this. And this process, getting all mixed up. We actually use more tomatoes if you want it redder, but this is just fine for me. See, now it's all processed, and we're gonna get it all in this pot. Let me grab a spoon so I can get the rest out, the residue out. And yeah, okay. So there we have it. So we're gonna just get this going. After we're gonna go ahead and turn the stove on after we put some tomato paste in. So you don't need too much, just a little, maybe about a teaspoonful, maybe a little more if you just want it to try to make it a little redder. You don't want it to taste tomatoey, like tomato paste. You don't want it to taste like that, so you want to be careful that you don't use too much. Then you just add a little seasoning salt. Not too much, just a little seasoning to help give it a little more flavor. Then I use these Maggi cubes, but I have some already smashed up in a bag ready to just sprinkle, for things such as this. And this is what it looks like. That's the Maggi cube. That's what it looks like. But of course, I'm not going to break into that cube. I'm just going to get some that I already have sprinkled into this little, this little Ziploc bag. Just a little, put it in there, just to give it, again, some flavor, some extra flavor. And you don't even have to use the Maggi. You could just use the seasoned salt, or you could just use the Maggi. But sometimes I switch it up and give it a little of each, seasoning salt and Maggi. But I personally don't like to overdo it with the seasoning because it is salt. It's salty. But it does help give it a little more flavor. Then we're just going to pour a little canola oil in. Give it that oil, that oiliness. And there it is. Then we're just going to mix it just a little, not too much, just to move it around. You don't want to mix it, just move it a little bit. Then we're going to turn it on and let it cook, and this is what it looks like. Once it starts to cook up, then you can stir it more. And then put a top on it and turn it down some. I had already turned it down some, so I didn't really need to turn it down too much, but I did turn it a little bit more down. And because it's cooked up, once it cooks up and starts bubbling and boiling, you can turn it down. So I moved the lid off a little bit to give it room to breathe. And so now it's all done. The fish is. So we're taking the fish out. There it is. And there's Janice behind me eating her breakfast. And here's the fish, all nice and done. And here's the sauce, still cooking. And we like to let the sauce just cook till it get real nice and cooked and thick. I'm drinking some of my concoction that I made earlier today. The ginger with the honey and ground turmeric and lemon. And so here's my plate with the fish, and I got some salad with it. So now let's taste it and see how it is. Look at the salmon is really nice and flaky. It's breaking, actually. It's pretty good. It's good. It's delicious. Nice and flavorful. And my salad, I have green leaf lettuce, spinach, cucumber, red onion, some shredded medium cheese, and Italian dressing. And yeah, that's my salad. I think I put a few croutons in there as well. I think they're garlic cheese croutons that I use. And so yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video if you care to share. And that is my salmon and salad that I made actually on Friday. Yeah, this is hitting. This is hitting for sure. So you all, I hope you are having an amazing day. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. This is Lady Love checking out. Peace.